Thomas L. Brown. In my early years, the experiences of me as a youngster was the fact that you had a very heavily populated community from Martindale, Columbia, you go over to Yandees, all the way over to what you would now call college, was heavily populated. The interesting thing was the black community had a beautiful relationship with St. Rita's under Father Strange. And always remember, my dad would joke with Father. He said St. John helped to expand St. Rita's because they laid out a complete addition. He said because that's where we went to play bingo. Bingo was big business from St. Rita at that time, and they had enough space. We were even going skating over at St. Rita's. Now, they had a skating ring up on 25th Street that we would go to, but St. Rita's became a very active area for young people. Father Strange had made that area kind of an enterprise with bingo and the numbers. You could buy numbers and win. It was what I call then the lottery of the Catholic community. We moved out to 233 West 44th Street. That place and that site now has been established as kind of a historical place, because when we moved out there in 1954, 55, 56, my dad was very proactive in what you all have been told, the civil rights movement, but at the time, we didn't call it civil rights movement. We called it the freedom movement. The freedom movement was where Dr. King and Dad and Shuttleworth and a bunch of them would communicate back in the 56. Secretively, here in Indiana and Indianapolis, on 2 or 3 occasions, he would come and visit Dad, and Dad would provide him the kind of security and privacy with the membership where Dr. King would stay. Not only that, Fred Shuttleworth, Ralph Abernathy, and some other individuals. They would all gather in 56 and 57. 58 and 59, Dad began to organize here the voters' education, voters' registration, and some other initiatives with Moselle Sanders, Arthur Johnson, Ben Davis. A whole heap of ministers began to organize around boycotting, particularly places that were not allowing blacks to be free in participating.